Okay.
Not seeing it yet.
All right, we're live. Yes, can you see us all?
Not yet. Oh, yes, you're live. Hi.
I can see you. Hi, everybody. Hang on just a second. I just clicked off Facebook, Michelle, and there was a picture of your mom on Facebook. So hang on a second.
Yeah, and she's smiling.
Yes, she is. So, all right, here we go. Hi. Okay, there. Sorry, I couldn't find all the buttons. So, hi, everybody. I'm Carrie Parker. I'm here with Michelle Vandepath. We're going to be talking tonight about business by design, and specifically, we're going to talk about how to sustain yourself in your business, which isn't something we talk about a lot. We often talk about, how do we serve others? How do we take care of others? How do we create products and services that people want to buy? How do we read the marketplace? And how do we, see what works in the marketplace? How do we take the pulse of the marketplace so we can sell? These are all also very, very important topics. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes we stop or we fail to talk about you in business and how you have to stay sustainable in your business. Otherwise, you can't run your business. And some of you who have listened to me over the years, you've probably heard me say this many, many times. The statistics for failure in small business are horrible. Like, most small businesses fail within the first 2 to 3 years of getting started. And they talk a lot about failures because of business capital, not having business capital, not reading the marketplace correctly. I don't think any of that's true. I really don't. I think that the real reason small businesses fail is because we don't run business in a way that sustains us, and we burn out. And even if you think you're not burned out, if you're not doing what you need to be doing to take care of yourself and your business, if you're procrastinating, putting things off, if you're not doing a good job, if you're failing to master some of the things you need to master, like for some people, maybe for some of you, if you're starting off your business, if you're like freaked out about getting a PayPal business account, so you just keep avoiding it, or if you've been in business for longer and maybe you need to do some of those things that up level your game in your business, maybe you need to become more visible, maybe you need to approach sponsors, maybe you need to take your product to a different kind of distributor, or we were talking before we went live, we were saying, Michelle and I were joking that between the two of us, we've been in business for more than 60 years. And I said, over the course of tonight, we'll probably talk about a lot of things around business. And Michelle told me that she used to own a restaurant, which I know a lot about Michelle, or at least I think I do. But then she lays these little surprises on me. So yes, Michelle has run a business. She's had a restaurant. She's done all kinds of things.
We already have I don't want to interrupt, but you already have a comment. I'm not sure when you want to take comment.
Oh, we do? What's the comment?
Well, Debbie on Facebook says, as a projector, she's finding it challenging. She is great at helping others, but not herself.
Yes, and I don't think that's even specifically a projector issue, honestly. I think that's a huge issue in business, which is part of what we wanted to talk about tonight. Before I get started, I just want to lay this out for you guys. First of all, if you're watching this on Zoom, again, post your questions and comments in the chat, which is down below. If you're watching on Facebook, please post your questions and comments on Facebook. This is actually part of a two-part special Facebook Live rolling into Quantum Alignment show on Friday. Tonight, we're going to be I'm going to be laying the groundwork, and Michelle's going to do some of this with me, or she's going to do half of this with me. We're going to be laying the groundwork for a continuation of this conversation that I'm going to have Friday on the Quantum Alignment show. And on Friday, I'm going to talk about selling by human design type and success by human design type, because the definitions that we have for success and the way in which we go about creating success, if we're using a traditional business model, it doesn't work for everyone. In fact, it doesn't work for most people. It works for about 4% of the people. on the planet. And that leaves 96% of us struggling with trying to figure out how do we do business, and most importantly, how do we do sales? So the reason I decided to do this is 2 hours. So we're gonna have 1 hour tonight and 1 hour on Friday. Is it's just so much. And it's a big topic, and it's a topic that people ask about a lot, because we know that if you know human design, you know that you're not hardwired like most people, because you aren't. You're only hardwired like you, and there is nobody else like you. And so how do you take that precious, unique person that is you and put it into a business format, a plan, a success strategy that's right for you? So we're going to start laying some of the foundations for that conversation tonight. We're going to be talking specifically about, we're going to be talking about sustainability in your business. We're going to talk about purpose in your business. We're going to talk about self-care in your business. I'm going to talk about some of your biggest questions that I got based on some survey questions that I asked recently about what are your biggest questions around business. And then we're going to play. I want to leave some time for us to have questions too. So Michelle,
Hi.
do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? I'm completely open.
I'll go first.
Perfect.
Because I think what I'm doing will lead people into the next thing. So do I have a way to share my screen? I do.
You should, down at the bottom.
I
Little
do.
green button. Yeah.
I do. Now that I've lost my Zoom. All right. So I am going to talk. Let's see. Does this work?
Yep. You're good.
Where do I find my purpose? So hearing you talk for just a minute ago, Karen, and you're talking about sales, I want to bring a little bit of sales into this if I can.
Yes, please do.
And so I hadn't really put together this short presentation about sales, but I'm going to bring some in. And then we're going to leave some time at the end. So I'll go, maybe about 20 minutes, 15,
Yep.
20 minutes?
That's
All
perfect.
right. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Michelle Van de Pass, and I have been a purpose seeker for most of my life. And like most people who go out searching for purpose, it becomes very elusive. And the more I searched, the more elusive for me it seemed to be. And so after really looking and striving and wanting to really connect with my purpose, I started to realize that there were different answers. That purpose is not something that's outside of us. It's not something we do. It's not something we go after. I took all the quizzes, read all the books. I even wrote quizzes. I had downloadable things on my website so you could take quizzes. What's my purpose? All those kinds of things. And after all this searching and researching and discovering and yearning and seeking for myself, I came to the conclusion that if we go back inside, which, my gosh, is the answer for everything in the universe anyway, right? It's all inside here. That when we go back inside and connect with who we are first, then our purpose is an expression of who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And how we bring that into business is when we are connected with our purpose first, and we express that out into the world, our business can become part of that expression. When we know that our purpose in life is to teach, to inspire, to heal, to create, and all of us do all of these things, but we tend to have one piece, one tendency that is more predominant than another. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's leading. Whatever it is, when we get in contact with that inside of ourselves, when we can really tune in and know who we are at our core and express that out, then we do that through our business, and our businesses become an expression of who we are and what our purpose is. And when we take that a step further and use that expression of who we are and our purpose inside to connect with the people who need what we have to sell, sales just becomes another extension of our purpose in life. So if I know that part of my purpose is to help lead and guide and teach you, and I choose to do that through business, I mean, you know, if business suddenly were to disappear, I do think it's changing. But let's say it's also my job to be in touch with the purpose inside of me that leads and teaches my daughter as a mom, right? So I am expressing those qualities inside of myself in everything that I do. And so when we take that into business, it becomes how we express our business. And then when we take that into sales, then I want to help teach you what I know. And I'm looking for the people who want to buy that from me. And then it doesn't become a manipulative push, right? We all think about the used car salesman because that's what everybody always talks about. But it doesn't become a pushing thing. It becomes an expression of who I am. And I want to connect with the people who need that, who are attracted to that, who want to connect with me in their biggest, highest expression of who they are in their purpose. And maybe our two businesses will connect, and energetically we're connecting up here with these little purposes running around, right? And we're connecting on a soul level, and we're connecting on a business level, and it becomes so much more beautiful to interact this way. And so I'd like to take us through a short exercise this evening, if you all are game, to help us all connect more with our purpose in life. And you may already know your purpose. You may be really clear. And I love that. And what I ask that you do is just hang with us and let go of expectation and let go of the belief that we all know everything about ourselves, and just be open to whatever comes in. If something new comes in, great. If you get confirmation of what you already know, that's great too. And so let's start with the assumption that we are all already living our purpose. We're on the planet. We are living our purpose in how we connect with others, in how we express our love with others, in just showing up and being part of the consciousness of the planet. Let's start with that understanding. You're already living your purpose. You may not know what it is. You may not be in touch with it. You may think it's one thing. You may think it's your job, right? If you are a nurse, you may think being a nurse is your job, but actually maybe it's healing or caregiving. Could be something else entirely. But let's start with that assumption. And know that at the core of your being, you are already living your purpose. And if you're able to stand up, at the very least, put your feet flat on the floor for me. And take a deep breath, because this can be really heavy stuff. I know, because I searched for years, about 30 years, I searched for purpose outside, over there, following the gurus. Take a deep breath. It helps just shake it out a little bit. And sink your energy down, all the way down through your legs, down through the soles of your feet, and connect all the way down, deep down into the earth, the part of the earth that is nurturing and loving, not the part of Mother Earth that's angry right now, but get way down in there to the loving, nurturing Mother Earth, and feel that anchoring energy just pull you down and anchor you so strongly. And when you feel that, allow that energy to float back up through the soles of your feet, through the back of your knees, up your spine, up your neck, and feel yourself just standing or sitting a little bit taller, then up through the back of your head, through the top of your head, and connect with divine inspiration. And you can call divine inspiration and Mother Earth any name you choose to give it, but allow your creative energy, your source energy to flow freely back and forth between groundedness and divine inspiration. And know that everything you need to live your purpose, to build your business, is inside here. And from that place, I'm going to talk a little bit about all the different things that come together to be in purpose around your business. I have this wheel. If you'd like to open your eyes, feel free. Otherwise, I'll talk you through it. I have this wheel that's in my book, my purpose book, that all of these things come together to be part of the expression of who you are. And all of these things need to be present in business for you. Purpose, intuition, authenticity, a mirror. A mirror means, what is the information out there mirroring back to me that I can use? The void, the place where all is, where creation happens. Passion, intention, wisdom, and a creative spark. And all of these things come out to help you build your business from a soul perspective. Yes, you're going to have your to-do list, but these are the things that make the business happen. This is where the creativity is. This is where the essence is, right? And so I want you to just let all of these things swirl around you in your energy. You are full of wisdom. You are full of spark. You are full of purpose. You are already authentic. You have lots of intuition, all of these things, and they are part of what builds your business and makes you unique and your business unique. So when we talk about pulling this into business, there are 3 areas. And we're going to start with the inner and some contemplation. So I want you to think from this grounded place. Are you grounded and rooted? Do you know what you're here to do and how you give back to society and the planet? Do you know? If you don't, think about how you express your love out into the world. What is it you do naturally every day with your family and your friends? How do you express that love out? And that will give you a clue as to how you ground your purpose on the planet. Do you listen to your intuition? And when you hear little whispers in your ear, do you hear them? Do you recognize that as intuition? And authenticity. Do you recognize the value of yourself? And do you see yourself for the beautiful brilliance of who you are? Do you honor your own gifts? Do you live and speak your truth? Connect with each one of those things. They seem like so big things, such big things. But when you honor who you are, you're honoring your purpose. And your purpose has more space to express itself. Then the outer reflections. When you look out into the world, how is your life reflected back? Who are your friends? Who are your mentors? What are your clients like? What does your day-to-day world look like as you're out there? What's reflected back to you? These are clues as to your purpose. Do people come to you for specific answers all the time? Are they the same questions that you're asked? Do people come to you for healing or advice? And are you open to the lessons that the outer world, that the mirror brings to you? The void is what I like to call the place where everything is created, the big mystery. The place where we go to connect with our muse, the place where we go when we think big thoughts, the place where we go when we just feel totally at peace or out of this world or divine inspiration has come in. And are you open to connecting with that place, that void, the place of all is and nothing is? And it's chaos. And it's beautiful. It's a big, beautiful, messy chaos in there. And then what are your outside hobbies and interests and curiosity about the world? Because that's where your passion will come alive. And when you can bring your purpose and your passion together, maybe through a business, that's where the spark happens. And that's where other people can really feel that you're enthusiastic about it and want to buy from you. That's where you'll attract like-minded people too. So intention, what is the vision that you have? What would you like your life and legacy to be? That's clues to your purpose. And that's also probably a clue to the essence of your business. I often talk with people who have a million ideas, and so many ideas, so many things to do. And the question is, where do I start? And I would like you to think about what you want your legacy to be, and what would you like to be known for, and what's your vision for what you want to do, and then connect with that is who you are, is how you be in the world. Everybody on this call I know is really wise, and so connect with that. Connect with your wisdom. And know that part of being in business is there are natural cycles, and that's part of being wise. Karen and I have talked a lot in the last few years about how business seems to be like this, with solar eclipses and lunar eclipses and total eclipses and retrogrades and right, everything up and down. That's a natural cycle of life. And so part of just being alive on the planet is learning how to ride those waves, but also in business, how do you ride those waves? And then how's your spark? How's your flame? Are you feeling alive and adventurous? And if you're feeling kind of blah all the time, that's going to show up in your business. So go do something really fun and adventurous. Take up sword fighting, jousting, take a cooking class, do something that you would never normally do. Learn to be a massage therapist that has nothing to do with your business, but just because it is interesting to you. And that will come back. That keeps your spark and your flame alive. These are all contemplations. These are all things that you can think about when you are connecting more strongly and intimately with your purpose. This is a contemplation that I have. It's just any time you feel yourself in doubt, just acknowledge you're already living your purpose, even if you don't know what it is, and trust that each step brings you closer to the clarity and fulfillment you desire. So that's a contemplation. All right. So I'm going to take you through a short exercise. So all of these things that I've been talking about are now swirling around in your subconscious. You don't have to worry about figuring it out. Just allow all these thoughts to pop in and out, to make connections, to not make connections. It doesn't matter. They're just threads out there in the universe, and you'll pick up the ones that you need to pick up. The point of this exercise is to help us all be more connected with our own purpose so we can express that in our business. And our business becomes more charismatic, more alive because we're expressing through it. So I want you to imagine purpose, your purpose, as its own energetic being. And just close your eyes for a minute and imagine purpose is up there, part of your bigger self. Whether it's up or around, it's your aura, your your circle, your orb, and purpose is there. And it's its own energetic being that's part of you and separate from you at the same time. Just like we are separate and part of all there is at the same time. And imagine this purpose being as having a shape, and see if you can connect with the shape. Does it have a color? And maybe a smell. Take a deep breath. See if you smell anything. And is there a voice? Is there a whisper that sometimes comes in your ear, your intuitive whisper that may be part of your purpose talking to you? And this purpose being, this energetic being, what else do you sense about it? And feel free to take notes if you'd like to. Anything that comes up. And see if you can just sense and feel this energetic being that is your purpose. And if you're not smiling, smile. Because this is like a really cool thing to connect with your purpose in this way. It's a whole different way than most of us do. Many of us connect with our angels and our guides and our past lives and our future lives and our friends and whatever. And this is your purpose. This is part of who you are. This is your beingness on the planet. This is how you express your love out into the world. It's a cool part of you. So connect with it. Feel it. Now I've included this. Well, I haven't included it yet, but I will give this to anybody that requests it. Maybe Karen can put a link under the live stream. I'll put it in the chat. This PDF has a place where you can go now draw your avatar for your purpose. So if you got a color, a shape, any information in there, you can go draw it in this little box and it becomes your purpose. You don't have to name it, but if you have a color, give it a color, give it a shape. And while we're in this place, just thank your purpose for coming to you in this way and be open to any information that it gives you over the next minute, day, week, year, decade, lifetime. And understand that intuition can come through guides, through your mind, through your heart, through your purpose, through all kinds of energetic beings. And now that you've connected with your purpose, it may show up as a new way to express your love. It may show up as a new way to go teach. It may show up as a new healing modality that's going to come through you. And those are things that you may do as a result of being more connected to who you are. So start with being inside your purpose and then express it more fully. And I just like this image. So if you're not looking at the screen, this is a cool image that you get to download in color. And then something about me. I'm going to leave that up. When you're ready, open your eyes, shake it out a little bit. And I would like everybody off the call sometime in the next 24 hours just to write a little bit about their purpose and how you are expressing your purpose, your love. We can use love and purpose interchangeably. How do you express that in your business? How do you express that when you talk to potential clients? How do you connect with this part of you that is here on the planet for a reason, and that reason is to be more of who you are? That's it. To be who you are in the fullest expression of who you are. That's your purpose. And so when you can be more of who you are, you'll find new and creative ways to do business, to do more of you. And so I'd like everyone to write and color sometime in the next 24 hours, and feel free to reach out to me because I would love to hear your stories and if you got any new insights. Okay, Karen.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I think I love the last thing that I just want to throw out here, because you say this a lot, and I just really want people to get this. And actually, do you mind, Michelle, undoing your screen?
Oh, yeah.
So one of the things you talk a lot about, and I think this is such a relief for people, is that your purpose isn't necessarily going to be what your business is related to. For some of you, it may be that what you're doing is what you do to sustain yourself financially, economically, so that you can then go do your purpose. And I think the guy, I mean, I really appreciate the intention of the guy who wrote, I think it was the book, What Color Is Your Parachute, right? Or, you know, you figure out your purpose and then you go create a business around your purpose. For some of us, that's truth. I mean, some of you will have that business purpose in harmony thing, but for some of you, maybe not. And that doesn't mean you're failing your purpose or your mission or anything, because your purpose isn't your work. Your purpose is you being who you are. You, as you said, and I just want to drive this point home, because I think we really beat ourselves up a lot about this. Your purpose is you getting up and breathing every day. You're here, you're here, you're fulfilling your purpose already. And you're, adding that, an element of it to your work, adding love and purpose to your work, regardless of what you're doing. Even if you're checking groceries, if you're present to that as the vehicle of the fulfillment of yourself in form in this lifetime, if you're present and you're being with that, you're deepening and expressing that purpose. So, okay, thank you.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Can I upload the PDF to Human Design for Everyone? Can I put that in there? Do you know?
Yeah, you can. If you put it in the chat, if you put the link in the chat, Cindy can put it on Facebook for us.
All right.
So, yeah, go do. Michelle has, and I was going to jump up and go get it off my shelf. Do you have your copy of your book handy? Michelle wrote this amazing book on purpose.
Of course, I'll be right back. Of course I do. Hold on.
It's like an explorer's guide. It lays out all these different paths that you can take to discover and enhance and bring out your purpose. And it has all kinds of really great little exercises in it and coloring books in it. So it's a really fun book. I love it a lot. And actually, my 9-year-old loves it a lot.
You just keep talking.
Show us your book, and then I'm going to start my slides too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I have to get it out of the package here. Hang on. I'll have to tell you the story about why it's in the package.
Okay.
Oh, it's backwards, but that's okay. Purpose.
There you go. All right.
I will put the link up. I'm going to go upload it and put the link up so everybody here can get it. And then Cindy, you can do what you like with it.
Perfect.
Thank you for this, Karen.
Oh, you're welcome. We're not done. Don't go away.
No, I'm not going away. I'm just going to mute myself.
All right, good. All right, so now we're going to move into a continuation of this conversation, except now we're going to talk about it a little bit more from a human design perspective, because purpose is integrated into everything that you do. As I said, it is who you are. What human design brings us sometimes is the mechanics for how to put that purpose into play. When we're talking about business, we're looking at how purpose aligns with your passion. It's one of the things Michelle talked about. And when your purpose and your passion are aligned, it gives you the energy to stay sustainable in business. And again, that doesn't necessarily mean that the business that you're doing is aligned exactly with your purpose, but it might be that you find that joy that your business brings you because it sustains you to be able to create what you're going to create. The presentation, the slides that I'm going to show you guys next, if you have your human design chart and you want to get that out, I'm going to just go through aspects in the chart, things to look at. And as I said, this is sort of laying the foundation for the Quantum Alignment Show on Friday at 1 p.m. Central, which if you can't make it live, it's okay. I'll record it and I'll send out the replay to you guys. On Friday, I'm going to talk about your human design and your marketing style, your business style, and your sales style, because your unique blueprint, your energy hardwiring is going to influence how you do business or how you can best do business. As we're talking about this, I'm answering some of your questions, but I'm answering them specifically in the context of how do you stay vital in your business? How do you stay sustainable in your business? Because if you're, as Michelle was talking about, if you reach that point where you're like, I have to go to my office, you don't want to be there. You're avoiding the sales calls because you don't want to do them. You're not answering your emails, or you're procrastinating. We all procrastinate in various ways, but if you're really procrastinating and not showing up the way you want to, that's oftentimes a symptom that you're not really aligned with what you're doing, or it might be that you're aligned with it, but you're burned out. And I'm going to explore with you a little bit some of the things that cause us to be burned out. Now, just a really quick disclaimer as I'm going through this information tonight, I'm going to talk about this in the context of the human design chart. If you've been watching my show lately, I always start with this disclaimer. We all have all of the chart. If you have aspects of what I'm talking about colored in on your chart, if it's defined in your chart, it means that you have that energy consistently and it's sourced within you. It's always there. You always have it. It's always operating in kind of the same consistent way. If you don't have elements that I'm showing you colored in on your chart, if they're white on your chart, you still have it. Just like within all of your cells, you have the entire human genome, but you're not expressing all of it, okay? You're expressing your parts, and whatever's white is a part of that energy that you're experiencing from others. Oftentimes, we relate more to the places or the energies that we have white or open in our chart versus the definition, especially if you experience these energies from people who you are with consistently in your life. So your parents might have had these energies defined, and so you took it in and you amplified it, or your loved ones who you live with might have this energy, and you're experiencing this energy from someone else. The key is to remember that where it's white, you have variability, meaning you have ultimately the potential to become very wise about the energies that are white in your chart, because these are energies that you experience in multiple different ways, depending on who you're with and where you are. So the energy for business is in a human design circuit called the ego circuit. The ego circuit is what's called a tribal circuit. So it's actually an energy that is about caring and taking care of other people. So business isn't by nature selfish. This whole idea of selfishness in business is the very low expression of ego, and it is not the highest potential for business. Business is designed to be a place where you create service, where you transform pain into power, where you transform pain into something of value, a place where you create community, a place where you create sustainable resources that you share with others. And those sustainable resources are not just about helping other people, but they're also about taking care of yourself and your family. Because if you can't take care of your family when you're in business, it's going to be very hard for you to be in business. I know this. I was a single mom and raising 5 kids by myself for 10 years and running my business. And I promise you that if my business wasn't able to sustain my family, I would have gotten a job. My business wouldn't be in business, because my business, I couldn't afford, I had full-time custody of my kids. I couldn't afford to not be profitable in my business, because Kroger's at that time, and I think this is still true, they were not bartering. Okay, so I had to have money. So the biggest question that people ask us a lot is, how do I get my business started? And how do I know what's right for me? And if that is your question, I would first encourage you to go back and do some of the exercises that Michelle just did, because you want to know, first of all, that you are aligned with your purpose, so that you can figure out what do you need to do to live that purpose, bring that purpose forth into the world. And is your business going to be related to that purpose, or is your business going to need to sustain that purpose by creating the money for you to be able to go out and do what you really want to be doing? The thing that I want to encourage you guys to think about is this. Do not start your business if you are desperate, scared, or burned out. And I can't stress this strongly enough. I can't tell you, and Michelle, I know that you know this too, because Michelle and I have been coaching people. We coach business people, and we've been doing it for a long ass time, as we were saying. So that, you know, when people come to us and they are running out of money, or they hate their job so badly that they are dying to get out of it, or they are scared because they're in the middle of a big life transition and they feel like they need to have the next step laid out. If that's your life situation, that is a great time to go get another job. And I don't mean to be discouraging. I'm not trying to be discouraging, but you need to make sure that you're crafting your business from a calm, grounded, centered place, and that you have the resources available, particularly in the beginning, to sustain you through the startup phase. Because, and I may be a real downer here, and you guys might be really angry with me for saying this, but I'm going to say this because this is a big pet peeve of me personally. I am so sick of people coaching people in business and telling them, oh, it's so easy. Click your heels together 3 times, poof, 1 month, you'll build a database of 100,000 people, and your business will become an instant ATM cash machine overnight. Boom. I challenge you, lovingly challenge you, to go find me an overnight success that doesn't have 20, 25 years of front end work that they've done to prepare themselves for this overnight success that they're supposedly having. Business is about divine timing, and it's about delivering something of value that people need. And people have to be ready to understand the need and be present to the need before whatever you have can become successful. You have to have a foundation built. You have to trust in the timing, because if you're pushing when the timing's not right and people aren't ready for what you have to bring, it doesn't matter how flippin' brilliant it is, it won't work. And if you're trying to dilute or manipulate or create something that isn't right because you're frightened, you're desperate, or you're burned out, and you think this is going to be an easy way for you to get yourself some freedom and some respite, don't do that. Get the respite first. Take the time off first if you need to. Enter your business from a place of being grounded, aligned, faith-filled, and trusting and sustainable from the start. When you start your business, you've got to know what I like to call your paralysis points. You will all have paralysis points. We all have them. I'm actually in the middle of one right now. I'm in the middle of going through some really big up-leveling. I've gotten invitations into some really new arenas for me. In fact, next week I'm speaking in Santa Fe. I'm presenting live. And I haven't presented live in a group with a group of people who I didn't know. I have my own people, but new people in a long, long time. And I'm like freaking out. I don't, I want to call all these people next week. I want to call the organizers of the event and go, I can't come. I'm not coming. I'm just going to go to the hot springs and I'm not going. But that's my paralysis point. My paralysis point always comes, I like to be at home in my office. That's my favorite place. That's my happy place. So leaving my home is a big thing for me. And when I hit a paralysis point, my tendency is to procrastinate. And some of you might do that too. Paralysis points often come from what's going on in your spleen. Okay, so when you look at your human design chart and you look at the center on the left-hand side, this is the spleen, and the spleen is your center for instinct, and it's the center for timing in the now, and it's the place where we carry a lot of fear in the chart. So here's the thing about the center though, it's time limited. If you get paralyzed in the fears of the spleen, because this is a survival-based energy center, those survival-based energy impulses that the spleen give us make us feel like we're gonna die if we do this thing we're afraid of. It's not reasonable, it's not logical, It doesn't make sense to feel like you're going to die because you think you haven't had enough training to do a good job with your clients. Okay, you're probably not going to die from inadequacy, but you feel like you might, because human beings are hardwired in a very complex way. And actually, I have a whole little thing that I did not so recently, but a whole little workshop that I did called the Fear Gates of the Spleen. And Cindy, if you want to post that as a freebie in the chat, that would be awesome, where you can really sit and discover what's going on with your spleen, and how maybe is the definition in your spleen causing you to feel a fear that is so intense that it's paralyzing you. Here's the secret to this level of paralysis, and nobody likes to do this, but it's just true. Because the spleen is instinct, and it's giving you survival-based impulses. It's just like if you run from a bear, right? If you see a bear and a bear is chasing after you, right, you're going to take action in the moment. You're going to run. You're not going to think about it. You're going to be in that fight or flight, right? You're not going to run from the bear or not run from the bear. You're not going to stand in front of the bear and go, let me see. I don't know what to do. I really don't want to deal with the bear right now. I don't know, maybe I'll go do some research on the bear. Maybe I'll go file my nails. Maybe I'll sit on this rock and look at, you're going to take action when the bear is coming at you. Once the bear is done chasing you, and when you've escaped the bear and you've survived the bear, you're not stuck in that fight or flight response anymore. You de-escalate, you get done with the bear, and you get to go on with the rest of your life. When we hit these paralysis points in our spleen, it causes us to shut down. And instead of like running from the bear and being done with the bear, we are sitting there going, okay, I'm bear bait now. And I'm just going to stand here and the bear's going to eat you. You can't let your business bears eat you. You have to run, you have to take action, and you have to push through these fears, because as soon as you do, because they're time limited, they dissipate. So I'm going to go through very quickly the fear gates of the spleen, but if you're curious to look at learning more about the spleen, Cindy's going to post that link, which I'm sure she already has because Cindy's that fast. So the gate 48 is a gate of inadequacy. Oftentimes, if you have this defined, or if you live with someone who has this gate and you're amplifying it, you might feel like you can never know enough, never have enough experience, never have enough training, never be ready, and you hold yourself back from starting your business. The gate 57 is a fear of the future. When you have the gate 57, sometimes you're afraid to go forward with what you know you need to do because you're afraid that the future might not be a good one. If you've had past experiences that were not successful, and I promise you, everybody does. That's not just you, that's all of us. If you've had experiences in the past that have been less than successful, and you have the gate 44, you may be holding on to those fears of the past because you're afraid they're going to repeat themselves. If you have the gate 50, this is the guilt gate, you might be afraid that you're going to fail your responsibility, and that guilt will keep you paralyzed and stuck in that energy and not being able to move forward. If you have the gate 32 is part of the business circuit, and it's literally the fear of failure. It can sometimes hold you back because you're afraid to do it because you're afraid you might fail. The gate 28 can sometimes be the fear of struggle, or the fear that it's going to be too hard. So why should I do it? It's going to be too hard and too much struggle. And the gate 18 brings us the fear of imperfection, meaning I'll never get it right. I'll never take care of all the details. I'll never get all the typos edited out of the manuscript. I'll never get the website right. I'll never get my marketing right. The images will always look terrible. Why bother, right? So if you have any of this, these are, again, as I said, these are time-limited fears. It doesn't feel good, but if you push through them, even though your knees are knocking, you'll get yourself to the other side and you'll feel better. To get started, you've got to have a big picture. You've got to know what drives you. Michelle just talked about this. You have to know what drives you. Where's your passion? What's your purpose? And then you've got to have, and this is, I think, one of the biggest, most important things that you need to have in the beginning of your business, or if you're growing your business, you've got to have a framework for what you do. Why are you doing what you're doing? What are the things that you do to move people from A to B if you have a service-based business? If you don't have a service-based business, what's the mechanics around what it is that you're giving people? how does it help or change their lives? If you understand the framework of your business, like my business, I have the quantum alignment system, one of my businesses, I have the quantum alignment system. In the quantum alignment system, I have a framework that says when you know who you are, you using human design, and you clear your programming, your mental and emotional body using energy psychology, and you augment it with subtle body therapies to stabilize the changes that you make, and you change your behaviors after you've changed your mindset and your emotional body, and you learn how to tap into the quantum field, you can create a completely different reality for yourself, one that's much more aligned with the truth of who you are. That's a very, very basic framework. It's so basic that if I'm stuck in an elevator with someone and they say, what do you do? I can explain it to them because I know the framework. And oftentimes what I find with people is they don't know their framework. And so it's hard for them to talk about their business or create products or to create even marketing because they can't talk about what their business is because they don't exactly know what they're doing. This is a really important exercise, by the way, if you have an open G. Sometimes when you have an open G, it's hard to lock onto a framework. Why do you do what you do? So really knowing that there's a methodology or a system to what you're doing is important. For the big picture, as I said, you got to know why you do what you do. What's your dream that you want to contribute to the world? I have on my desk, I'm not going to get it out because it's deeply covered in a huge pile of crystals because I'm addicted to crystals. But in the corner of my desk over there, I have my mission statement. It's my big vision for why I do what I do. I read it every morning before I go to work. Because if I'm feeling crappy or down in the dumps and I don't want to do my job, I read my purpose and then I went to. So I really want to invite you, and this again goes very much in hand with what Michelle just gave you, to ask yourself what drives you. Is it family? Is it money? Is it wanting to have an impact? Is it the joy of what you're doing? Is it love? Or do you have something that you want to prove? Like, do you want to show people that you're different than how people thought you were? Your drive has to be something that's worth fighting and working for. And oftentimes when we look at drive in the chart, for those of you who are looking in your human design chart, the gates in the moon will tell you a lot about what drives you and how do you discover that drive. There's, the chart is kind of a nice map for figuring some of this out. Your framework, as I said, is a way of organizing your ideas. It can be applied to a variety of topics. So if you have a basic framework, like for example, the quantum alignment system, I can take the quantum alignment system and I can apply it. In fact, I have done it this year. I can apply it to abundance. I can apply it to relationships. I can apply it to health and wellness. I can apply it to spirituality. I can apply it to career and business. And being able to take my organization of ideas and apply it to different areas allows me to expand and to grow my business, because now I can take my system and I'm not just teaching my system. I'm specifically using the system for people who are using it in business. I'm specifically using it for people who are struggling with health issues. It gives you malleability and it gives you the ability to duplicate your brilliance in multiple arenas so that you can continue to impact people with what you know or have, and also continue to expand your reach and your income. Your framework will address a need for your client, and it gives you a foundation for the big start. Here's one of my favorite examples of a framework. This is a really, really simple framework. This is a coaching framework. This person believes that if you have a plan plus resources times execution, you have success. And this person can take this framework, this formula, and apply it to anything he does with his clients, right? So I was meant to grab this, but I didn't. I actually have a framework. Cindy and I created one a few years ago. I have a framework that I use. I'll post it for you. Mine is not that simple, but I'll show you what that looks like. Your framework is your core philosophy behind why you do what you do and why you do it. Okay, so I'll put my little thing on here. It's time to stop selling what you do and start selling why you do it. When you really get started, very little happens from the couch, no matter what your type. Oh, there's a typo in my slide. Don't look at that. You want to start with your intention. It doesn't have to be clear, by the way. You don't have to sit here and go, I now earn $106,000 by working 36 hours a week, and I take 5 weeks off and I sell product. You don't have to be that clear. It can just simply be, you know what? I really want to make the world a better place. That works. Send it out as a question. Ask the universe to give you the answer. What would it take for me to create a business that's rooted in service so that I can contribute more love to the planet? You don't have to find the answer. The universe will bring that answer back to you. And then get off the couch and follow the things that bring you joy. Get ready. Lay the foundation in your business for everything that you can do that you don't need other people for, like build a website, go print up your business cards, write programs or courses or trainings, or make your product, whatever it might be. Study whatever you need to study, learn, explore, and then wait for a sign, because good business is about divine timing, and you have to be in alignment with timing. And while you're waiting, make friends, build your network, create ebooks, reports, blog posts, video posts, websites, study the people who you admire, listen carefully to people, and focus on service. And focus on what I think is the most important thing you need to do to get your business started, other than taking care of yourself and making sure you're not desperate, afraid, and freaked out about money. Start building a relationship with your potential clients. When we look at the design of business, business is all about people and taking care of people and being with people and in the flow of people. So you really do have to build your relationships with your clients. And that is the key, frankly, to selling. It's like dating, right? You don't go on a date with, you don't marry the guy you go on the first date with. Okay, I almost did once, but that's that whole you can make mistakes thing. So it was my one mistake. I didn't do that one again. I was desperate. It wasn't a good thing. Okay. Yes, Cindy, I think
I just
we are
posted
ready
framework
for. Good.
in the chat. I don't know if you want to click on it and pull it up.
I'm not going to do it. You guys can look at that. It's pretty complicated. I don't even know if I remember all the parts of it anymore. I've simplified it since then.
We've had a couple of on Facebook. Sue mentioned she loves when you said business is about divine timing. That was one of those keynotes she really liked.
It is. And if we could all make peace with that, we'd be so much happier.
So another comment was when the fear gates came in, Kat was saying her conscious sun is one of the fear gates.
That's an adventure.
And then adding to that, Annie says she has conscious Mars in 48 and a conscious moon in 16. And she's just starting to get an understanding. Leslie, our reflector's here. Hi, Leslie.
Hi, Leslie.
This is very helpful. I have pieces of this process, get them back to front, cart and horse stuff, but you nail a few things down for me.
Good. Awesome. And we are going to expand on this. I'll expand on this on Friday, and hopefully Michelle can join me. We'll expand on this on Friday. We'll talk about sales and marketing. So, but I'd like to just, and Cindy, I want to be really mindful of your time, because I really did just sort of Shanghai you into, hey, I'm doing this thing tonight with Michelle, come on. But I would really love it if you guys have questions or comments. Let's take a couple of questions and comments and play for a little bit.
Can wait right now. I'm not seeing, the last thing I saw, Kathy was saying she has the gate 50, the guilt place. Her comment was guilt, so she probably has.
Yes, I know that one very well. I have that one in my moon. That's what drives me. I'm driven by guilt. It's terrible. So one of the things that, one of the reasons why I wanted to have this conversation with you guys is that it's really, really clear to me, and I'm just going to talk into this because again, I'm kind of busting mythology in business. You know, being a mompreneur, and Michelle and I are in a similar situation, and some of you are in this situation too. We're not just mothers, we're also children of aging parents, significantly aging parents. Obviously, we're also, at this point, we're both spouses. You know, it's very challenging sometimes to stay focused on all this stuff and work through this stuff while you're juggling life and taking, trying to make sure that the kids are in the right school. We've had kids home all summer. some of you maybe have had that experience too, or you have to, Michelle has a 13-year-old, I have a 9-year-old, neither one of them drive yet, you know. Did you unmute yourself, darling? There you go.
She's almost 15.
God,
it's like we're over 60 years in business now. We're getting older.
Oh my gosh. But she's still not driving, right?
Not quite.
Okay, we did have Savannah Rose put a comment. I'm a manifesting generator working with a few projectors on a business to help preserve family stories. And I need some tips on helping the group in the best way to be productive and helpful and get things off the ground to be profitable. We're having a lot of trouble with that. Thank you, and your work is wonderful.
So here is a question that I have for you, Savannah. First of all, I'm just going to say this. If you are a manifesting generator working with a lot of projectors, the one thing that I would just really strongly invite you into exploring and really aligning with is that your energy is going to be different than your projector partners. And that's not bad. They're not bad. You're not bad. You know, it's just different. And if you guys can learn to harness those unique qualities of your energies that make you different, it'll help you keep yourself, in particular, Savannah, from feeling frustrated. It'll help the projectors from feeling bitter, and you'll all be sustainable for a longer period of time. Certainly, I would say as a manifesting generator, your strength is going to be in getting the work done, and even to a certain degree, being the figurehead, the one who can talk and initiate some of the action. The gift of the projectors, though, is listening to them and listening to their advice about where the momentum needs to go first. And that can sometimes be difficult for you as a manifesting generator, because it's not so easy sometimes for manifesting generators to listen. Sometimes, and Michelle and I know this, we both manifesting generators, our tendency to do business, our modus operandi is, let's throw spaghetti and see what sticks, right? And then
luckily we're fast enough, so we just keep throwing it and enough sticks.
Exactly. But I will tell you, I've had several projector assistants and they can't hang with me, and I usually burn them out terribly. So I have 2 generators now on my team, thank God. And you guys seem to have been able to sustain it. But really, for you, Savannah, I would say the first thing is really looking at making sure you're asking the projectors for guidance on where to put your energy. That's the first piece. The second thing is, and this is just something to play with and something to even think about when we come back on Friday, if you can, is what are you doing to market, and how are you talking about the importance of preserving family stories? Because I think that's a great business idea. I can't imagine that wouldn't be a really delicious business idea. But the question is oftentimes, how are you transmitting the vital nature of that? Michelle, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I don't know you, Savannah. I don't believe, I may be wrong, I don't believe we've talked in the past. But my question is, what does preserving family memories mean? And intuitively, I would just say go bigger than what you're doing. So are you interviewing people on video? Are you putting together scrapbooks of old photos? Are you doing genealogy? I mean, it could be anything, and I have no idea. And I think you need to do all of that and more. Mm-hmm. So when you're looking at preserving family memories, go bigger in your scope. Think of everything that you can come together to encompass. Maybe it's recipes, maybe it's history, maybe it's ancestry, and pull it all together into some wonderful, crazy big package that you can sell.
Mm-hmm.
Savannah Rose says, no, I'm pretty new, all really helpful information.
Good.
And we had another, Carlene says, how should generators market themselves?
So I'm going to just quickly say, I'm actually specifically going to talk about types and marketing on Friday at 1 p.m. Central, same place, same bat station. I'm going to say one thing about marketing. Michelle's talked a little bit about that at the beginning. I will tell you the thing that I think is the most important thing that will help you sell is how clear are you on the value of what you have to sell? And that's independent of type. This is for any of you. If you get your value, and this is part of sustaining yourself in your business, if you know the value of what you bring to the table, then the marketing piece, that whole idea of, oh, I got to market myself, I got to sell myself, all of the anxiety and the stress and the pressure on that falls away, because it becomes as natural as breathing air, because you get the value piece.
I want to add to that the value, if I may, Karen, the value of yourself, and then what's the benefit to the client. And I still struggle with this, and I've taught marketing for 30 years. So when you work with me, what value are you going to get? I know my value, but what is the benefit? What are you going to walk away with? And so are you going to walk away with a website? Are you going to walk away with new information? Are you going to walk away with packages you can go sell? Something concrete that a potential client can hang on to and have a light bulb go off and go, oh yeah, that's what I need. And so it's a little bit energetically. You're connected with your own purpose, your passion. You're here to share what you're put on the planet to do, express your love, connect with the people who need you. And then what Karen was saying, make sure you know the value of yourself and what you bring and the value to the customer, and then get real pragmatic. Like, what are they actually going to walk away with? Because then you get down to brass, then you get to the money piece, and money is very pragmatic. So you need to match the money with an energetic equivalent of value that is third dimensional.
Totally.
And one more. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Jennifer Bronznick, sorry, Jennifer, just posted a book, a story brand by Donald Miller, which I love that book. It's a great book that really helps you understand, like, how do you build your presence on social media? How do you express the story of who you are and who you are in business? I will tell you this, though, and this is just sort of taking what you just said, Michelle, one step further. You know, when you're having that money conversation in sales, which is really what you're having, you know, and you're saying, I want this amount of money, we freeze when our own self-worth doesn't seem to match up what we think we're asking for. And even though it doesn't seem like, oh, a business is like this thing over here, and why my self-worth is the thing I go see my coach or therapist for, when business and your inner plane, like that inner playing field or your inner game comes in together at a table, if you're not clear about your value, your self-worth, it'll be very difficult for you to ask for money that matches what you're hoping for, if what you're hoping for is a reflection of value that you haven't stepped into for yourself first. And that's not meant to be discouraging. But go ahead.
You and I could talk about just this all day.
Yes.
It's also not about doubling your prices and praying and wishing. It's not.
It doesn't work.
It is about maybe making a bigger package because you can deliver on that. But that's different.
So Karen, we had a question that came in on Facebook from Lydia. She's actually your phone caller. I'm driving long distance and listening on the phone. This was the best way. Okay. She could think to ask a question. I've been in business for 15 or so years. I've had ups and downs financially, and right this minute, I'm doing really well, very aligned. Just left a draining relationship yesterday and feel enthusiastic and hopeful. Would the conversation about getting a job to have the financial foundation include someone like me?
You know, I can't answer that question per se, and that I don't want, that's a personal choice or a personal decision. But I do want to just throw this out here. This fear of the job is, you know, there's nothing wrong with sometimes going, okay, I need a job. Personally, as an entrepreneur, I have job fantasies. Let me just throw this out here, and some of you may not like to hear this either, but I think that having a job is actually a lot easier than having your own business. When you have a job, you have days off, theoretically, right? You don't have days off. I mean, you can give yourself days. You should be giving yourself days off if you're an entrepreneur, but How many entrepreneurs out there are like sleeping with your laptops under the bed, right? Or you get up and you go to the bathroom in the morning and you're immediately checking your stats overnight. Some of you maybe. You know, if you are in a place where you need to reestablish your foundation, or you need to get yourself grounded and settled so that you're not creating that from that freaked out place, get a job. You know, just get a job and just say, look, this is what I'm doing while I'm waiting for clarity. This is what I'm doing while I'm waiting for the universe to give me the sign, the readiness, the energy. So what I'm doing to take care of myself right now while I'm building. Michelle, do you want to add to that?
I do. Jobs and opportunities come in so many ways. I got a consulting gig once out of the blue. I am a book coach for a really big company out there part-time. So I am like all of you with multiple streams of income and various things that I do, but it all stems from a meld of purpose and passion and what I'm good at and so forth. But it doesn't have to be like a 9-to-5 job or my own business. Open up the realms of possibility that includes a job, that includes a consulting gig, that includes some temporary job, that includes expanding your business. Maybe all of these, maybe different things at different times. I think we tend to think of it as an either or as well.
Well, and I think we have a tendency to think of it as a failure, and it's not. And that's
right.
That's the other thing. You're not failing if you need a job. Businesses have cycles, and sometimes, you know, the cycles don't match our life needs in the moment, and that's okay. It just means, hey, I have a job right now. Heck, the guy from Cosby is working at Trader Joe's, right? Did you guys see that in the news?
I saw that.
Yeah. Like, okay, so he got a job. Big deal.
Okay,
you know?
and then yes. The gentle ding.
Okay, I hear you. Okay. So I just want to show you guys something really quickly. Because one of the things that Michelle and I are very passionate about is supporting people who are looking to either grow or expand.
Oh, look at that.
Did you do it? Did you get it? I got it. See, that's it.
I'm so excited.
So we have a program, and actually I'm going to give you two opportunities tonight. We have a program called The Matrix, which is a virtual co-working space. We are in a beta testing phase right now with our founding members. So we're not taking registration for that yet, but it's a monthly membership. And in that membership, you get all kinds of classes. We have virtual co-working spaces where we get together online and we work together. We have technical support. So if you're like working on Facebook ads and you can't quite get the Facebook ad to work right, we have all kinds of support online, all kinds of trainings, all kinds of mastermind pods. Right now we're working on 10K by October 31st, 10K by Halloween mastermind pod. We have Fridays, we have happy hour. We get online at the end of the business week with a glass of wine and hang out together.
There's a little video up now, Karen. I put the video up today. Not on this page, on the Matrix page.
Oh, on the Matrix page. I'll open that in a second. So you can, though, join the waiting list. We're in the middle of just working through and making sure that all the systems work and we're playing. But if you're interested in being part of our virtual co-working space and part of our makerspace community, you can get on the waiting list and be ready when we get ready to open the doors again for our official formal launch. Part of what we're doing with this program is we are offering, in conjunction with the program, powerful retreats, opportunities for you to work with both Michelle and I in a retreat setting where you actually pull back out of your daily life, pull back into a quiet space where you are away from the money anxiety, away from the pressure, away from the fear, away from all that stuff. And you go into this collaborative, creative place, literally a place away from your regular life, to craft a conscious plan that is rooted in your purpose, rooted in your human design. We take you into this space, we work, we craft, we build together. And then over the course of 6 months, we coach you. And then we come back together at the end of that 6 months at a different retreat setting where we continue to solidify everything we've built and what we're growing. So this retreat, this retreat cycle that we have going on right now, We're actually starting October 14th through 17th in this amazing mansion in the mountains in Colorado in the middle of autumn, where you can see the leaves, and it's an unbelievable house. You'll see it here on the left. So we have room for, how many more people do we have room for?
A handful of people still.
Yeah.
Handful
So we have room for a couple more people to come to this retreat center. We start by we build your, what we call your Matrix Maker Manifesto, your specific, unique business plan based on your type and strategy, based on your purpose. We build a plan with you. You work it with us for 6 months. We coach you, we support you. And then we come back together again in April next year at New Mexico in Ojo Caliente, which is this fabulous, beautiful hot springs resort center just outside of Santa Fe, where we've actually taken people on retreat before. We actually did a really cool writer's retreat there a couple of years ago. And it's just a beautiful place to sort of solidify everything you've built and push you out until the next level. So Cindy's gonna post the link to this in the chat and on the Facebook page. You'll see here, you have, of course, your meals are included, your lodging is included. We have private rooms, we have shared rooms. We've told everybody, it's sort of first come, first serve on who gets the best rooms of the house. We still have a couple of cool rooms left. We do have this beautiful video about Ojo. So watch this video. It's really amazing. A really amazing place. So, and then I'll put this here.
So
this is
Karen.
Yes, Michelle.
I think I took the wait list down today. I think it clicks to the join now because I was updating the page, but you can still show the page.
Okay, so I don't know where it is now.
It's at the matrix.world, and it's and it's got a video about what's behind the scenes, and I posted the video. And you know how us manifesting generators are. I was playing with
This is it. This is what
where are you?
Us matrix.world.
Okay. All right. I think maybe that's your cache.
That's probably my cache.
Yeah.
So
it's the same page.
Manifesting generators.
Yeah. So, but that's because I was testing the video, but it's got a cool video up on that page, and you can click on it and you can find out more, and you can actually join at this moment until I put it back tomorrow morning to the wait list.
Yes, so get it, because manifesting generators skip steps, and Michelle skipped the step of forgetting to take that page down. So
right, because it was only going to be up overnight and nobody knew, and I forgot that we were doing this live because I've been busy. Sorry, Karen. So anyway, if you want to join, you can join like for 12 hours, and then it's going back to waitlist.
12 hours.
Only because I don't have time to go take it down. I have to go get my daughter in 5 minutes.
All right. Well, good. Okay. So
yep.
that's what
and that's real. That's like how real business works. Like, I'm not going into panic about it. I'm not like, oh my gosh, I forgot to take the page down. I'm like, okay, there's somebody out there that needs to join today because they need to be part of this 10K mastermind, right?
Yes. Our 10K by Halloween mastermind.
Yeah. So if that's you, if you hear me talking to you, that I mistakenly left the page up just for you, and you're called to join, I invite you to join tonight while you can, because tomorrow we're going back to wait list.
Yes. So get ready. Her daughter goes to school at 7:30, so you have until 7:30 tomorrow morning.
That's right.
All right. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Michelle, for sharing your wisdom. Thank you, Cindy, for being my wing woman.
Thank you, Cindy. Yeah, this was really fun. And it was nice to connect with some new people there.
Yes,
and thank you, everybody.
Post any questions or comments that you have. Again, join us on Friday, 1 p.m. Central. We're going to be talking about selling, and selling in particular by design. So I'm going to go through all the types and what each type needs to structure their business in a sustainable way, and what's your best strategy for selling according to type. So be there Friday. All right. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Cindy.
Bye.
Thank you all. Bye.